Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Deniches and today we will discuss about leap year. I made this video after the previous episode which was about the sugar rush from desserts, right? And I kind of feel better already. Um, I just basically took a little bit of break, like I don't know, like a 15 minutes break basically. And it kind of make me feel better. And yeah, therefore, you know what? Let's just record another video, right? And what discussion that I want to talk? Well, I looked at my list of topics about these discussions, and one of them specifically just says leap year. So yeah, we'll talk about leap year in this discussion. Why leap year? Because personally, I really love the concept of leap year. Um, leap year is basically an injury time, right? If you like playing soccer or football, and you watch lots of football match or league or something like that, and in one of the timing there is the injury time, right? Injury time is basically additional time after the 45 minutes mark had been reached, right? So, normally soccer, football, whatever you want to say it, soccer probably, um, has 45 minutes times, right? 45 minutes, I mean, and then that times two, right? Because there is two, what is it called again? Like half time and full time, right? And they are all 45 minutes each. And in each of those session, after 45 minutes had passed, there will be like some kind of injury time, right? Well, that's like the at least that's like what I know, although technically not really, right? Well, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't actually know the ruling of soccer specifically, if the injury time existed in the first, half time or not, or only on the full time. But I think there, I think there is, right? Like after 45 minutes have passed, they don't just end the game. Like there's a little bit of time as well just to see if the any player, anyone that has the ball, see if it has the potential to match a goal, right, or not, or whatever, right? Like I don't even know how injury time is based on. But anyway, we're not here for that, right? I've now spent 5 minutes just to talk about soccer, right? Which is one of the soccer that I don't like. And yeah, there's that. Anyway, injury time, I see that, the same analogy as in soccer, like I said. And leap year is basically an injury time in day throughout the year, right? That's like the most common thing that we know, right? With our international calendar, the 365 days, and then it increased by one more day on February 29th, if I remember correctly. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the wiki so that let's just not waste our time, right? This article is about the 366-day year. For the 365-day year, see common year. I mean, that's common, right? We're here for the uncommon year. For other uses, see leap year, okay? This article needs additional citations for verification. February 2020. Also, this is like why I love Wikipedia. Like I love Wikipedia because they inform some of this, right? So this article also needs citations. It means that some of the stuff written over here um is still like speculative, right? Also, like it's maybe the fact, but there is not really the source that supported it, right? So we will need more citations on this. This could be you guys. One of you guys probably can edit this, find the source, and just include it over here as well. But basically, this is like what general people know, right, about this kind of stuff. So therefore, there is not really citation over this. But yeah, a leap year, also known as an intercalary year or bisextile year, is a calendar year that contains an additional day, or in the case of lunisolar calendar, a month, added to keep the calendar year synchronized with the astronomical year or seasonal year. Because astronomical events and seasons do not repeat in a whole number of days, calendars that have a constant number of days in each year will unavoidably drift over time with respect to the event that the year is supposed to track, such as seasons. By inserting, called intercalating in technical terminology, an additional day or month into some years, the drift between a civilization's dating system and the physical properties of the solar system can be corrected. A year that is not a leap year is a common year. Okay, so here, in short, right? The astronomical events like the Earth rotating in its axis and rotating, revolving around the sun. That's basically the knowledge of time, right? In our world, basically, like that's what we call as 1 year, at least in our common calendar, right? Which is the time that the earth needs to revolve around the sun one time, right? And the thing is that the time is not always like it's not always the same, right? Because there is well, I mean, can it really? Yeah, it can change, right? By a sliver amount. But the thing is that that very specific amount of time, if you accumulate it throughout the year, throughout few years, then that becomes something, right? In this case, becomes 1 day. In our case, for every 4 years, I think there is an additional day, right? But yeah, for example, in the Gregorian calendar, its leap year has 365, I mean 366 days. Instead of 365, by extending February to 29 days rather than the common 28. These extra days occur in each year, which is an integer multiple of 4, except for years evenly divisible by 100 but not by 400. The leap year of 366 days has 52 weeks, and 2 days. Hence, the year following a leap year will start later by 2 days of the week. Okay, that is a lot of stuff to digest. 52 times 7 is 3, 5, and 14, 3, 6, 4, and 1 day. Okay, so basically what this is saying is that the first sentence, right? Um, Leap year will contain 366 days instead of 365, and it is added into the 29th day of February. Why February? Well, I mean, I don't know how or why the history be like that, but I can only imagine because February only has 28 days, right? And that's like the fewest, the least amount of days throughout the months of the year, right? The other months only, the other months have 30 days or 31 days, whereas in February only has 28 days, right? Just make it fair. Let's just add 1 to February, right? 29. I know this is probably not what it actually is, but as someone who doesn't have any idea, if I had to make a decision, then I will personally put the extra day in February just because it has the shortest amount of day, and that's about it. Um, I also don't know how February only has 28 days to begin with, where when the other ones have like 30 or 31, right? Which is like 2 to 3 days difference in gap, right? Which might be something, right? There must be something of the reason why it do be like that, right? And we'll probably talk about that in the future, right? But yeah, I will take a note after this video about that, about why February only has 28 days. And the next one is these extra days occur in each year, which is an integer multiple of 4. So everything that is divisible by 4, right? Except here, for years evenly divisible by 100, but not by 400. I mean, that's a lot of conditions, right? So basically, year 100 is divisible by 100, right? Therefore, it is not a leap year. So basically, every 100, 200, 300, like 2000, well, in this case, 2000 is divisible by 400. Then, if you look at the calendar, then the year 2000 is still leap year, right? 366 days. But let's say 2100, right? The year 2100. That will not be a leap year because although it's divisible by 4, it is also divisible by 100, which is 21, right? Therefore, this exception over here, and that doesn't count to becoming a leap year. Um, yeah, right, because it's divisible by 100. But every 400, it will be considered as leap year. So it's basically like 1 in 4 year and 1 in 100 year, right? Right? No. It's 1 in every 4 year and 1 in every 400 year, basically. And which that will be it, right? So 2100 will not be leap year, 2200 will not be leap year, 2300 will not be leap year, but 2400, right? The year 2400 will be a leap year. Because it's divisible by 400, right? As an exception of an exception of divisible by 100, and an exception of divisible by 4. But yeah, that's about it. That's like complicated, but it's not that difficult if you ask me. The nearest leap year will be in 2024, right? um this will be interesting. I always love the idea of leap year because again, it increases the day in the year by 1 day, right? And it becomes a challenge in itself. Like, what did that 1 day do to you, right? Is it the same, just like the same as the other year, or you use it like in the you use it maximally, in maximum, just maximize everything in that 1 year, right? So that one special year can be much more distinguishable than the other 3 year prior to that, right? It's becoming a challenge in itself. Like, um, when 2020 comes, it's leap year, right? I thought that I would be graduated on 2020. I have like high hope because that's like uh, you know, a leap year, right? And every time I met a leap year, I always consider that as a special year, right? But unfortunately, like, I didn't graduate over there, so that's like basically 2020 was like an opportunity for me, but I didn't use it like the most efficient way, right? We got one additional day, but I didn't really use that again, like, efficiently. And the next will be 2024, right? Which is 22 years from now. And it just pumps me, basically, like, that 1 day I can do anything, right? that can make that year become more special than the previous 3 years before that, right? Like I said. But yeah, the next is the leap year 366 day has 52 weeks and 2 days. Okay, so regular year, apparently this is a fact, right? Consists of 365 days, which is 52 weeks plus 1 day, right? That's why I make a math earlier, which is 52 times 7, right? It means, 350 plus 14, right, which is 364, and then we add another year, right? Why this is important? Because it means that the same day in the next year, I mean, the same date in the next year will be 1 day later than whatever this year. So let's say that today is January 1st of 2022, right? And it is, let's just assume it Monday, right? Therefore, the next day, not the next day, more like the next year in 2023, the first day of January will be Tuesday. Excuse me. Yeah, because of this, right? So in this case alone, you can kind of imagine that, like whatever the day today, next year will be, the following day of that. If it's like Sunday, then the next year will be Monday. If it's like Wednesday, then the next year will be Thursday on the same date. And this is true because of math and because of 52 weeks plus 1 day, right? The additional 1 day will be like basically be put into the next, the following day, right? Right? That should be right, 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 right. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have one, right? It adds to one again, so that would be yeah, Tuesday. The next verse will be, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's right, right? In the lunisolar Hebrew, or is that iunisolar or lunisolar? I think it's lunisolar, right? Hebrew calendar Adar Aleph, 13th lunar month, is added 7 times every 19 years to the 12 lunar months in its common years to keep its calendar year from drifting through the season. So this one is, more not specific, right? This one is more, not more frequent. I mean, like, like our calendar system will add 1 day every 4 years, right? But this time in this Hebrew calendar, it adds 7 times, right? A 13 lunar month is added 7 times every 19 years. So there will be changes, but it is after 19 years basically to the 12 lunar months and its common year to keep. Yeah, okay. Um, in the Baha'i calendar, leap day is added when needed to ensure that the following year begins on the March equinox. So this one, the variable, I mean, the base will be March equinox, right? And it will be added necessarily if it's to make sure that it starts in March equinox. But yeah, the term leap year probably comes from the fact that a fixed date in Gregorian calendar advances 1 day of the week from one year to the next. But the day of the week in the 12 months following the leap day will advance 2 days due to the extra day, thus slipping over 1 day in the week. For example, Christmas Day fell on a Friday in 2020. Therefore, it fell on Saturday on 2021. Okay, so this is that's what I'm trying to say basically, and then falls on Sunday in 2022 and Monday in 2023. But then will leap over to Tuesday to fall on Wednesday, right? In 2024. So here you go, guys. whatever the date it is, it will be the one day after the previous year. So if it's Friday on Christmas in 2020, therefore it will be Saturday 21 and Sunday in 22 and then Monday. But then after that, after the leap year, it will be 2 days after that, which will be Wednesday instead of Tuesday. The length of a day is also occasionally corrected by inserting a leap second into UTC, right? Because of variations in Earth's rotation period. Unlike leap days, leap seconds are not introduced on a regular schedule because variations in the length of the day are not entirely predictable. So, in math, in computer, there is a leap second, right? So it's more detailed basically. It's probably adding few seconds every now and then, right? But yeah, that's about that. Yeah, leap years can present a problem in computing known as the leap year bug. When a year is not correctly identified as a leap year or when February 29 is not handled correctly in logic, that accepts or manipulates dates. So yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, right? How do people actually program this into computer, right? I mean, every 4 years add one day, but every 4 years that is divisible, that is also every 1 year, it is not added, right? But then again, every 4 year that is not 1 year, 100 year, but is actually 400 year, then therefore it is re-added back, right? And that's just a little bit confusing, right? I don't know how they program that, but yeah, that's about it. There's also all of these sorts of stuff like Julian calendar. I Yeah, this is probably the history of calendar in itself, right? Okay, a Julian year lasts 365.25 days. A mean tropical year is about 365.224 and 22 days. So this is why it drifts for every 100 years and 400 years, right? Because every 4 year, which is our leap year, it is presumed that the additional is only 0.25 days, right? Therefore, each year, if you multiply that by 4, that includes, that becomes one full day, right? Well, in reality, it's only 0.2422 days, basically. And if you add that to 4, that would be 9688, right? 96.9688 days, which is, if you ask me, that's lower than 1, right? And then if this is, cumulatively get added in the future, then the difference become big, right? Becomes seen. The small point, point 0.0312, if you multiply that by 100, then it becomes 312, right? Therefore, that's why it becomes, it shows basically just like that. So, yeah, there's that. Um, okay, what else? I guess this is like the history, right? And then there's also Gregorian. So there's Julian and then Gregorian, right? I don't know what's the difference between that. I don't know which one is that we are using in the UTC, I think what it's called. Okay, Julian, Coptic, and Ethiopian calendars, right? Revised Julian calendar, Chinese calendar, Hebrew calendar, Islamic calendar. Okay, there's also Baha'i calendar, solar Hijri calendar, and then folk traditions. Okay, so this one seems interesting. In Ireland and Britain, okay, it's tradition that the woman may propose marriage only in leap years. Okay, that's a little bit unusual, right? Okay, there's that. Traditions, right? Anything that is traditions, then yeah, whatever, right? Um, it becomes part of history now, right? Maybe national history about that, which is great, right? But yeah. Okay. Oh, postcards. 1908. we already have postcards back then. Well, I mean, it's only like a little bit more than 100 year ago, or 200, no, 1 year, 100 year ago, right? Which is fine, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's not that long, 100 year. It's not like it's the year 100, 1500 or 1200 or something like that, right? I believe 100 year ago there's already postcard, right? I mean, this is the proof, right? All right, which is interesting. Also, what interesting is Chinese calendar. We'll talk about this in the future for sure, because Chinese lunar year is something else. I live in Asia, right? So there is like Chinese ethnicity as well in my area, and we're just basically living together, right, in harmony. Well, most of the time anyway. But yeah, well, unless like stuff happen like this construction site next to my house, which like all of my neighbor becomes like starting talking about it, right? Like the owner, basically like it becomes a drama, right? I don't really want to give detail about that, but yeah, there's that. um so anyway, Chinese calendar, lunar New Year. What's interesting is about the zodiac sign. Why that's important? Why that's interesting? Well, because there's a history behind that, right? There's actually a cartoon or animated series that kinda explain about that. So it always interests me every time there is lunar new year, basically, because everyone here will like follow the tradition, and then we have so much like festivals and stuff like that, thanks to the Chinese people in my country, right? Because this is a thing now, this has become a culture, a tradition, basically. And I get to eat all the their special dish during this new year, right? Because I think Chinese has like lots of cultures about um like a culture about like feng shui and stuff like that, right? Like things that bring luck, and then things that don't bring luck, right? And it's interesting, like eating noodles during this new year, so that you have a long life, just like how long the noodle is, right? It's like symbolic, and it has meaning, which is it's interesting, basically. We'll talk about this maybe in the future episodes. Again, I will make sure that I talk about this. So, what do I want to talk again in the future? First is this. Second is I already forgot. Was it about the history of time? Is it like that? The history of calendar? Is it? I don't know. I will rewatch this video again and see, right? I mean, it can be as simple as that, basically. But anyway, that's all the time that I've got for today's episode. It's been 30 minutes. Wow. But yeah, this is interesting for me, at least, to learn about New Year, right? But yeah, there's that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I forgot about something. The reference of this, right? Oh, there is also birthday over here. Oh, this is just like people having birthday on 29th of February, right? And then references, yeah, this one. Okay, so this is all the reference for this. Yeah, basically check that out by yourself. If you have, oh, this one's long. What is it? The prayer book interleaved. What about it? Before the Reformation, Saint Matthias Day was kept in leap year. Yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, so this is like about that. Probably religious stuff as well. But yeah, until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow with another discussion, and see ya. Also, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, eat healthy, drink healthy. Don't be like me, eating too much sugar, then got myself a sugar rush. But yeah, until then, see ya.